We have an application of using operations with functions called the difference quotient. Anyone who's going to follow college algebra with other math courses, particularly calculus, this difference quotient becomes extremely important. So the difference quotient is actually simply finding the average rate of change, the slope, between 2 points on a graph that's not necessarily a line. So we know in a line that all of your slopes are the same. So you have a constant rate of change. Well, all graphs have slopes, but not all graphs have the same slope. Only lines have the same slope no matter where you're at on the graph. So what we do is we have this average rate of change idea, and it is found using the difference quotient. It is basically the change in y over the change in x. We have a formula here, but it really is just the slope formula given this kind of diagram here you've got, where you've got 2 points on a graph, x, f of x, and then x plus h and f of x plus h, and you're finding the slope between those. So this is called the difference quotient. It uses the same ideas that we've been doing with the operations of functions, and we're putting it all into finding the slope between 2 points on any graph, also called the secant line. So let's do one. So the first thing we're going to do, anytime you pick up a difference quotient problem, the first step is to just worry about finding f of x plus h. That means I'm going to plug x plus h into the x in my function. That means I'm going to do 5 times x plus h minus 2. So my function is f of x equals 5x minus 2. So when I'm trying to find f of x plus h, it becomes 5 times x plus h and then minus 2. So I'm going to distribute that 5. So f of x plus h is 5x plus 5h minus 2. Now, with that, I can now fill in my difference quotient because it's f of x plus h. So that's 5x plus 5h minus 2 minus f of x, which remember f of x is 5x minus 2. And remember, when we subtract, we have to distribute. And we're going to divide that by h. So let's start out by simplifying the numerator. So I need to distribute that negative. So that's going to be 5x plus 5h minus 2 minus 5x plus 2 all over h. Then if you notice, I have some like terms. 5x minus 5x, negative 2 plus 2 all cancel out. And it leaves me with only 5h on the top. So 5h divided by h is 5. So the difference quotient for the f of x equals 5x plus 2. The difference quotient gives me 5. Just so you know, your difference quotient doesn't always result in a single numerical value. So let's work this example so we can see that it doesn't always result in just a number. So the first thing we're going to do, as before, f of x plus h is the first thing I'm going to do. So my function is f of x equals x squared minus 3x plus 8. And I'm going to change the x's to x plus h. So that means I'm going to have to do x plus h squared minus 3 times x plus h plus 8. So x plus h squared, again, you're going to have to, if you need to, you write that out and multiply it. For the sake of time, I'm going to tell you that it's x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Then I'm going to distribute minus 3x minus 3h plus 8. Now, if you look really hard, there's really not any like terms there. That is f of x plus h. There's not a whole lot of combining I can do. And so now to find my difference quotient, I need to do f of x plus h. So that's x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 8 minus x squared, or f of x. So that's going to be x squared minus 3x plus 8. All divided by h. So I'm going to distribute this negative. So lots of writing here. X squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 8 minus x squared plus 3x minus 8. All over h. And then look at what you get there. I have, combining like terms, I have x squared minus x squared, that's 0. I have negative 3x, positive 3x, that's 0. And positive 8 minus 8, that's 0. So what am I left with? I am left with this 2xh plus h squared minus 3h. So what can I do? Well, all three of these terms have an h. So we're going to factor out the common factor of h. That gives me 2x plus h minus 3 divided by h. So now those two divide out. So my final answer is 2x plus h minus 3. It's a lot of writing. You'll get the patterns of things that happen, and you might be able to shorten the writing of it. But in these first instances, you need to write all those steps out, or I'm telling you, you're going to miss a term.